GM, we are live, and I don't know what happened. My computer crashed like right when I was about to go live, so I actually had to do a full reboot. I was a couple, 30 seconds or so late. But hey, good morning to everyone. Best ball on call, GM to you. And yeah, what a great day. What a great day it is. It's Thursday night. It's Thursday night football. The week starts anew. Make sure you get your lineup set. Make sure you get your Bills and your Dolphins out of your flex. Rookie mistake there. And yeah, this is Dolphins 12.5 point dogs. I'm not using the Bills in Survivor. I don't know why. I just got a weird feeling the Dolphins could keep this one a little bit close. So I'm not going to try to pick on the Fins today. As much fun as picking on the Fins historically has been. Joel, GM to you. Thanks for coming in. B Grandy, GM. Yeah. Yes, I know. On the my old school thumbnail, Brian Cox and Thurman Thomas on the thumbnail. We went retro. We went retro for this one, for this Dolphins Bills games, going back to the glory days of the 90s. Yeah, Shula versus Levy, just when football was football. But the reals remember. Joel, Greg, GM dudes, I'll take the Dolphins 12 points. I'm with you, Greg. I'm with you. I don't know. Maybe it's early season optimism hasn't completely worn off, but I'm there. Hey, Mike Robb, let's get that morning EV. Appreciate you, Mike. Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out today. Yeah, let's see what a dog bowl is looking like. I mean, if we want to hop right into the fire, let's see what this is. All right, we're waiting for 2. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. And if we're gonna do it, let's get a little night driving happening. A little night driving for the morning. So we're waiting for 2 here. But yeah, I don't know, feel a little bit of optimism towards the Dolphins. I feel like we're overdue for one of these just like big upsets no one sees coming. Short week. Weird things can happen on short weeks. I mean, the Dolphins are playing for their lives. McDaniel's playing for his job. I don't know. It could be. I also wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins lose by 65 points. Like, I don't often recommend doing a straddle in betting, but I would be like, alternate line Dolphins +3 and then like Bills -21. Like, I feel like it's going to be one of those. Like, I don't know. I think it's either going to be a Dolphins keep it close, or maybe even are live to win, or the Bills just absolutely stomp them. So I'd just be surprised if it's just like a 2 touchdown affair like the line is suggesting. But you know what? Who knows? Greg says, Josh with his broken nose. I mean, he's a tough guy. He popped his nose right back in and went back to playing. I definitely can't take that away from him. James says, I count 5 total Javonte teams between the 3 leg up games at the top of the eliminator rankings. 1 more Javonte. RB1 will cleanse leg up from the eliminator. So James is calling for a Javonte Williams extinction event for the legendary upside. Guys, I do know the people that use the sidekick are outperforming in the eliminator streets. I will say that. So it seems like it's gone well for the people who have used that product. I, of course, right now do not have any overlays or RTAs. We'll see if I change that for next year. Might depend on the results of this year. I mean, I'm pretty happy with how my my best ball stuff has been going. I've got 28 BBM teams advancing, which is nice. Last year I got 20 through, so that's an improvement in advance rate. The real goal is to get a finals team, which you could have some really solid teams and just not get there. So we'll don't want to be super results oriented, but right now I feel like the process has been good. The big board's an abject nightmare. I've been somehow advancing only like 10 big board teams when the top 3 get through. I don't even know how it could be that bad. I mean, I know I have like a lot of Rocket Sanders at the 0, but a lot of people have 0s in that contest. So not sure what's going on there. Hopefully that gets better, because that's kind of a nightmare. My sprint advance rate stinks, but the BBM, I have like in the Husky 2, I did 9 and 5 of those are advancing. So just like, it's a little bit of variance tournament to tournament, but overall happy with how things are. Joel says, I like the back to the wall cornered animal narrative for the Fins tonight. Yeah, everyone gets so certain, you get lulled into complacency, and I don't like to use the do theory because it's not based in math or reality, but I feel like we're kind of due for some like shocking upset that wipes out, a quarter of the eliminator field, or a survivor pool field. we're talking about with our game in the second height advance rate going into week 3, no RTA, so invested in leg up's demise. Hey, James, first of all, thanks for coming in, and secondly, we will all be rooting for you as part of the team no RTA. You know the John Henrys. We're out there. We're fighting the steam engine. We're saying we can build that tunnel better and faster than your machines. So I'm with you, man. I want to be RTA free as long as it's viable. But you know what? I'm willing to capitulate. I'm willing to capitulate if I have to, but I'm not capitulating yet. I think the humans can still survive. But you know what? We'll see. Good luck, James. I guess if it means rooting for Javonte, though, I have to say I did not have an RTA, but I also don't have Javonte. So, you know, there's a third leg of the tripod, and I might get kicked over too if Javonte smashes. So let's see. We got the 2-hole, which is nice. I feel like I've gotten a bunch of left side of the board. Part of me actually wanted to take Lamb because I'm underweight Lamb, and I've definitely come around to the idea that he could absolutely be the guy you need in this tournament. I like some of the late running back scroll, so maybe I should have taken Lamb there just as far as an exposure. I've been light on the kind of like 3 through 5 spot in my dog bowls, pretty heavily weighted towards the right side of the board, which again has led me to less Lamb than I want. So we will see. Greg asking, and James, we trust who's your number 1 most drafted guy? And of course, Quentin Johnston. Well, he is a advance rate god right now, and we'll see if that holds up. Again, I'm a little worried about Ladd. I'm definitely worried about Ladd versus where we drafted him. I think he's going to be okay. We're going to have some spike weeks from him. I just don't know if he's going to pay off his second round price. I'm starting to think that if Keenan holds up, you know, QJ, I like QJ a lot. I wish that concussion hadn't happened because I was taking him a lot, and I shouldn't have let that scare me because, you know, an off-season concussion is, you know, it's not good, but it's something that typically isn't going to affect them during the year unless you end up in a multiple concussion situation. But frankly, I mean, that could just happen to anybody if you just get some run bad. Concussions are kind of random. So I shouldn't have let that get me off of the late QJ click, and I did. So I do regret that. Yeah, Greg loves it. Greg loves the big brain play. So let's see what the room gives us in addition to Bijan here. I do have to say this is a game that I am attacking. I am very into this Panthers Falcons game this week. So I do like parts of it when I'm on this side of the board. I do find myself getting a lot of Drake London. Ted McMillan's ADP, I believe, is 30. So the best place to pair him is in the middle because there's no guarantee. If you want Tet, he'll come around. If you want Chuba, I think Chuba and Tet kind of go back to back, if I'm not mistaken, right now. Where is Chuba? Chuba's at 29. Tet's they're both at 29. They've crept up a little bit, and they've been creeping up. I think this is a game people have been kind of going after somewhat. So let's see what the room gives to us with Bijan here. So there goes Drake London at 17. Brock Bowers is a guy I have a full fade on at this point. I feel like if he's back healthy, then that's fine, but you're not getting any kind of true discount. I mean, maybe the fact that McBride's going ahead of him is your discount, but when you're over on this side of the board, these player combos are kind of mix and match. You'll get some of these guys falling into the second. So to me in the dog bowl, you know, getting Bowers at 16 versus 10, there's a fair likelihood you'll get the same pairings, if that makes sense. So like I don't think you're actually getting any kind of deep discount. Like we're not seeing Bowers in the third. But the way he looked last game, I have trouble paying for that. I would rather just punt at tight end if I'm being real with you guys. That's kind of where I'm at there. So part of me thinks I do want to make a Bijan cards game stack. Let's see what Best Ball Viper does here, because I wouldn't mind going like Tet and Chuba. I think that's kind of interesting to me. My question would be, which one do I take first? Which one would I take first, assuming Best Ball Viper doesn't have the same plan, which is always possible in these. He takes Genty. I'm going to take Tet here and hope that if CG wants a running back, it's Chase Brown or somebody else. And I'd rather just have Bijan versus Tet than Bijan versus Chuba in a vacuum. So I'll queue up Chuba. If Chuba's gone, I will take the discount on Chase Brown here. So this will be a plan to overstack this game and likely add Bryce Young will be the target at quarterback. So we'll see if we can make this game stack. Again, if not, we at least have the mini stack, if not the full overstack here. So he takes Tucker Kraft. Passing on Chase Brown is a little bit tough, but I think if I'm going to play this game to truly be what you need, I kind of like the overstack. I don't know if I'm sacrificing too much. If I'm sacrificing too much in this, but I'm just going to go with it. I mean, last game, Chuba did have 5 receptions and including a receiving touchdown. So again, I think if we're going to play this, game as a shootout, then we're going to go for that. All right, let's see what the chat's up to. All right. Go AZ Cards. I have 4 early shares of Mac Jones. I hope the Purdy coach speak is poo-poo. Oh, God, he did throw it the third. Yeah. I mean, that's tough. I mean, that's why the general idea in these is to take the guy with the Q tag and then set your ranks to move Mac Jones in. The issue there is you might not want Mac Jones in all of them. And the other thing is Jaden Daniels had a Q tag. So, and you can't individually set ranks for each draft. It's for like the whole slate. So you'd have to decide if you just want like a ton of Mac Jones, or if you just want Mac Jones on all the teams where you had Daniels, or even earlier in the week, if you have field shares. But yeah, it is a little scary if you drafted Mac Jones and Purdy plays. Mac Jones is going to be active as the QB2, so you're not going to get the swap. You just eat the 0 and you lose. So that is tough. Go AZ Cards. Cardinals change throughout the week with the ADP shift. Yep. Yeah, definitely getting different teams now than I started the weekend. Yeah, Chase Brown at 29. J-Dubs. Oh, Mr. Worth in here. I didn't even go through the friends and family. Let me catch up with chat and then we'll go through, see everyone's teams. Karen says Chargers pass D is elite. Washington doesn't have a Derwin James, but you never know. Who are we picking on with the Chargers? Denver. I think I missed something there, but yeah, the Chargers look darn good this year. I am definitely in on the Chargers. Greg says, are these killer whales just sitting in a dog bowl queue all day? How are they everywhere else at the same? Yeah. Some people are just really good at multi-tabling, Greg. But let me pull the board up so you guys can see y'all can see what's going on here. I've been pretty into Ken Walker. I've seen him in the second round. Charbonnet didn't practice on Wednesday, so we'll keep an eye on that, because if Sharps is out, I mean, Ken Walker's going to be a mid-second round pick, possibly even like a 1-2 turn pick. Like he's going to skyrocket if that happens. I don't know how serious the Sharps thing is, but again, it's worth noting here. James Young noting where all the killer whales are hanging out. James Young, get Discord stuff for sure. It's mind blowing to see these same dudes placing and winning each week from a low dollar perspective. Yeah, I don't know if I missed something else, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely so much skill in this, because you do see the same guys at the top of it week in, week out. So it's not just like luck and variance. Joel says, my first TBQ of the week. Nice. And Steven, GM, everyone. Hey, Steven, thanks so much for coming in. So let's see the room. We got Best Ball Viper, of course, last year's champ. We got J-Dubs here, Mr. Worth. He goes Taylor, Adams, and Chase Brown. Easy, another one of the good ones here. He's got Jefferson, Javante, and Ladd. And a few names I recognize, but nobody I really know. So again, Mr. Worth, I do like getting Chase Brown at 29. That's pretty nice, because I mean his ADP is 20, so you got a pretty much a full half or almost a full round discount on him there. All right, let's see what we can see. Let's see what the room wants to give us here around pick 47, around pick 47. If we want to go like crazy game stack, we could take Kyle Pitts, and then we could potentially take either Penix or Young. I think that is too thin. I think I would rather take one of these wide receivers. There's still a few good options in here. There's definitely some good scrolls. Keenan Allen against Denver. I think he'll evade he'll evade Surtain, and I don't know if Surtain is even healthy. So that's another thing to possibly keep an eye on. Garrett Wilson is somebody that I think Garrett Wilson would be my pick here. If Garrett Wilson goes, then I'd probably take Metcalf. New England's defense has been a bit banged up. Metcalf, I'm more than happy to take him, but I think Garrett Wilson is likely to just get absolutely hyper targeted in this one. If I wanted Pitts, I could again take him here. I feel like the Pitts thing is a little bit cute. Like it's a little bit too much for this game stack. Although again, if we're playing this to really go nuke, then maybe we overstack it. I don't know. I could just take Bryce Young now, just in case, on the off chance that somebody wants him. I don't know. I don't know about the double bring back, but I'm definitely considering doing it. Definitely considering doing it here. As far as tight ends, I'm pretty agnostic. I don't want to do a Carolina triple. That's too much. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna just giga stack the game. We're just gonna go all in on this Falcons Cards game. Say this is the overtime shootout you need, and I'm gonna queue up. I think I want to play this through Bryce Young because of his mobility a little more than I want to play it through Penix. But I will, if Bryce Young goes, I would take Penix. I certainly hope that both of these guys don't get sniped. I don't know why. I don't think either of these are guys that people are taking naked. I don't think it really makes a ton of sense to take them naked, but you never know what people are going to do. James Young says, I think a new guy won DB a Dog Bowl last week, someone I don't recognize. I feel like there's an edge to be found that all those guys based their draft off one another is doing. Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's definitely an edge to zigging when everyone's zagging. I think a lot of people think there's a formula, and if you're willing to do something other than that, then you can definitely get home. You can definitely get home doing that. So I think getting unique is such a value here, and it's so easy to just like follow the herd because it feels good. You see people who are very smart and are very good at this game doing something, and you say, well, that's the only way to win, and you can end up just making like crappy versions of what other people are doing. So I think here we at least tried to do something somewhat unique. I don't know if people are really going to overstack this Carolina Atlanta game in this way, and maybe this is what we need to punch our ticket. So we'll give this one a whirl. Could be bad, but we'll give it a shot. Hey, Lutz, GM to you. Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Joel's got a hard fade on Chase Brown, but couldn't pass at 29. Yeah, I think at that point you've got to just say, well, this is ADP value is not as crucial in the Dog Bowl, but I think at a certain point, Chase Brown people are seeing in that kind of mid-tier above. He's pretty close to a cutoff, and that's a nice place to get him. I don't think a lot of people are taking Chuba over Brown there. Donnie Murphy, GM chat. I can't stop drafting Dallas stacks with Rome bringbacks. Is that the chalk this week? Yeah, it's definitely popular. Let's see if that's happening in this room. So we've got the Dak Lamb drafter does not have the Rome bringback, but that's probably because Rome went over. Yeah, Rome went all the way at 18. So Rome went to a Caleb drafter, and then let's see where the Pickens drafters hang it. So Pickens is over here. So they all went very early. They all went too early to do any kind of bring back. And then let's see, DJ Moore went over here on stack. This is early for DJ Moore. It's kind of a squirrely room, but I think that shows you that we've got 4 pass catchers in this game going in the first 4 rounds of a Dog Bowl. Yeah, Donnie Murphy, I know I have a few of those teams, Dallas stacks with Rome bringbacks. It's easier to do with the Pickens. It's easier to do with Pickens Odunze, at least it was, because you could line that up over here on the right side. Now it's happening so early. It's almost impossible to get. I mean, I think Odunze's ADP is before where he'd come around to Lamb. Let me see. Who took him? It was Buster's Boys. So let's see if I look at Buster Boys team. Odunze's ADP is, it's 18. So that means here, and Lamb is over here. Lamb very rarely is going to be at 7. So you'll need to get like a falling Odunze to get that. But I think everyone who has Lamb, if Odunze's there, is just like jamming that at this point. So that doesn't surprise me. All right, so all these people have quarterbacks. That means we will get Bryce Young. That's kind of fun. Again, I think I'm going to go Young over Penix. It looks like Penix went anyway. Penix was in my queue, wasn't he? Or did I not? Yeah, Penix went over here to the Drake London drafter. I can't get mad at the Drake London drafter for taking Michael Penix. That seems logical for them. But yeah, so this team, I'll just wait for Best Ball Viper to make his pick. He takes Ja'Tavion Sanders. He's one of my sleeper tight ends. So I like to see Best Ball Viper taking him because I like the pick. So we end up with Bijan, Tet McMillan, Chuba Hubbard, Garrett Wilson, Kyle Pitts, Bryce Young. So we've got a giga stack on this Cards game plus Garrett Wilson here. So we'll see what happens. We got 5 people in one game. Again, hopefully that's the game we need. If not, this team is not going to go to the Dog Bowl and probably won't even cash. So let's see what other people are doing. Best Ball Viper. So he goes Lamb, Genty, Dak, Ridley, Krosky Merritt, and Sanders. Krosky Merritt is one of my favorite late round running back clicks. I love that you can get him in the 5th, 6th round. That's pretty nice. I like Best Ball Viper's team here. So he did not choose to do a bring back, but he's got a very strong group of players. Ridley, I mean, this is early for Ridley, but honestly, if you've kind of penciled in Krosky Merritt and Sanders, then there's no reason to wait on Ridley. I think that's, I like Best Ball Viper's team. Let's see what Mr. Worth did. So he went Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Adams, Chase Brown, Zach Ertz, Herbert, and Meyer. So he goes with the unstacked Herbert. I mean, I don't mind that too much. I mean, he has so many pass catchers to where he could spread the ball around, but Herbert could get there. And he has some rushing upside. So I think this is a perfectly defensible way to play Justin Herbert. And you're most often going to see Herbert paired with somebody. So getting a little unique, plus Jacoby Myers. I mean, I haven't heard a soul mention Jacoby Myers, but he's absolutely a perfectly reasonable 6th round click there. So I like the team. Other than that, just of note, easy, taking Love unstacked. I mean, it's what's funny about the Dog Bowl is Jordan Love started with an ADP of 3 because someone went wild in the playbook and I don't know if they were intentionally doing that. I don't know what happened, but Jordan Love went at the 3, and because of that, he was kind of anchored in the 3-4 turn for a while, and he's only now slipping. But people were kind of slavishly going to ADP. You saw Love go very early. Definitely seen a lot of Lovecraft stacks at the 3-4, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but it was a little weird to see Jordan Love people were rushing to take him when the only pass catcher we have any confidence in is Tucker Kraft with the Reed injury, with Golden being slow, with Wicks having buttery hands, and Romeo Doubs being the most generic player in the history of the NFL. So very interesting. I like this draft. I like this team. I'm going to hop into a regular PR. If anyone wants to hop in, we're not waiting for anyone. Can't hop in. I'm sorry. I was hoping there'd be some room. Greg asks, what's the story with DJ Moore? Doesn't want to block at practice, so he's dead. I don't know. He's anywhere from stone dead to going to get squeaky wheel 12 targets this week. I don't know what to make of DJ Moore. I'm not fading him because I'm scared. I think the talent is there, and that Cowboys defense looks like ass, and that's the highest game total of the week. So I think a fade is getting clever, but I'm also would not be surprised if DJ Moore is done, if he's getting traded. I don't know. The situation seems not good. Hey, Beastburg GMT, thanks so much for coming in. Great day for a Dolphins upset. I mean, I got my terrible NFL Jam Tua Tyreek t-shirt on. I'm ready for the Fins This shirt's gonna suck when we trade Tyreek Hill, and it's gonna go in my dustbin of dead Dolphins apparel. But you know what? Until that happens, we're gonna wear it out. I'll take Bijan at the I'll just take my Bijan share at the 101. Joel says Viper took Ridley from me, wanted to game stack with JT. Oh, yeah, I mean, he played it right? Like if he had two running backs or, a late running back that he wasn't worried about going off, there's a few other scrolls you could get if Krosky Merritt had gone. But yeah, you do see the Daniel Jones drafter going for Ridley as a bring back. You do see the Jonathan Taylor drafter doing that. So I mean, it was sharp. It was sharp to take him there. But I think your team ended up quite fine, Joel. Interesting. I saw Love go in the first few picks of a BR this morning. Yeah, I mean, BR ADPs are so squirrely. Like if you're just committed to Kraft goes at pick 20. So if you're like trying to set that up, like what are you gonna do? Like there's so many playable players in this that you can, after the second round, you can really kind of just take guys wherever you want. Like, if in my head I want to do a Bo Nix Sutton with a Keenan Allen bring back, those could be my last three picks. So and nobody's going to stop me. Like that's like nobody's going to, like, unless I'm in a room where someone else has that exact same idea. Like, and then at that point, like, well, I have three other picks. So like, what does it really matter? Like, I don't know. You do just see people like, and so if I did it that way and I took, Bo Nix in the fourth round, that would seem wildly early because his ADP is like 35. So, there's just some interesting stuff we could do there. So let's see what oh my God, Grant Calcaterra at pick 8. Jeez Louise. I think Dallas Goedert's back, so I don't know what I don't know if that person's trying to get the draft canceled or if they or what Mitchell 248 is doing. I almost feel like I remember that name as somebody that was like really screwing with draft stuff. I'm going to take Trey McBride here. I do think Trey McBride's the top tight end, and I realized I'm actually still on the clock. Let's get Jordan Mason here, and then you know what? Let's just do that. Let's just do that stack we just talked about. Let's do Sutton and Allen. And there we go. All right. We'll queue that up. I mean, I can almost push the plane on this and not have to worry about anyone taking this. So you know what? Let's hop in another BR. I'll keep an eye on that one to make sure we do get it. Oh my gosh. All right. I was trying to do one with you guys. I really do want to get in a BR with some of you guys. And you know what? That's we're at the 5 hole here. The only thing, I know I just did that and hit the plane. But if this guy really is taking Grant Calcaterra, I mean, we might get some kind of falling value. We also might get this draft thrown out entirely. I'm not really sure what this Mitchell Cat is doing. I mean, Jalen Hurts went at the 3. I mean, this might be a draft to not get cute. I know we just said we'd get cute, but maybe this is one. If Hurts is going at the 3, maybe we get something. So I'll keep a closer eye on that than I plan to. We're here at the 5 hole in this one. So I'll get either Lamb or Jonathan Taylor in all likelihood there. So let's see. Yes, so that Mitchell guy then just took Rome Odunze. So they just kind of played it normally after that. Looking at this board, there isn't any kind of crazy value. So we can go back to what we were going to do with Sutton, with Nix, and with Allen, and just build this very specific. Oh my God, Penix. That would be not good. All right. Sweet. All right. So we'll go back to the live draft here. 1 pick away. And so we'll either get Saquon or Jonathan Taylor here. We'll take Jonathan Taylor. And then, I mean, I've had a lot of trouble clicking Chase and Jefferson here, in my opinion. I would rather take JSN or Puka. And I mean, honestly, Puka ahead of both of them. And so this person agrees. This person takes Puka and JSN. So now I have to decide, do I want to really do a full fade on him? I guess I'll take a Jamar Chase share. I don't want to have like stone zero in the case that Browning just locks onto him and gives him 16 targets. All right, so over in this board, let me just make sure all right, so we'll take Knicks, we'll take Sutton, and then we'll have, we'll take Allen, I'll put Ladd in there, and I'll put, Quentin Johnston in there in that order, and I will just push the plane and be nice. So we'll get, well, I mean, I'm assuming I'm going to get Keenan Allen. It'd be kind of weird if I didn't. So that'll be Bo Nix, Bijan, Jordan Mason, Cortland Sutton, Trey McBride. Like, you know, if you have like a build like this in mind, like you can just do it. Is this, you know, my favorite team ever? No, but I think it is going to be fairly unique. I don't think there's going to be a lot of Bo Nix stacks. You know, we got Bijan, Mason, Trey McBride. If people do Bo Nix stacks, there's a pretty good chance it's with 3 other, you know, random people there. So we'll just queue that up. I'm going to assume I get Keenan Allen there, and off we pop. James says JT Puka starts at the turn. Feel like the nuts. Yeah, I like that a lot. I would not say no to JT Puka. And as I said, I would have absolutely taken Puka had this person gone Chase Jefferson there. I think Puka certainly live to be the wide receiver 1. I mean, I'm playing it as Lamb as the wide receiver 1, and I think that's correct. But I am very into both of them. I wish I had more Lamb in the Dog Bowl, but just the ADP gods have not seen fit to do that for me. I would have liked Mason opposite Jamar Chase, but we're not going to get that. I do like this. You know, I really am targeting this Atlanta-Carolina game, so I'll play this one through the air. We'll get Drake London here. I did see Nez taking Javonte at pick 12 in the Dog Bowl. Makes me think, man, I really should not just be completely out on Javonte there. I'm going to take this Ken Walker here. Again, if Sharps is out, we're going to see a massive rise in Ken Walker. I'm not too worried about it because I think just from a combinatorial standpoint, you're going to be able to get like teams like this, whether Walker rises or not in this, especially in the 6-mans. I think that's going to be much more dramatic in the 12-person BRs because, you know, you need a QB and a tight end at the end anyway. So it kind of, it's not going to, I don't think it's going to make too hard to, I don't think you're going to get too many unique combos from getting Ken Walker in the 4th versus in the 3rd. But, you know, if Ken Walker also was live to be the last pick, so if you're playing this through an elite quarterback, an elite tight end, then maybe that's where you'd see the most value in a Ken Walker team versus a team like this where I'm punting quarterback and tight end. But, you know, just in a vacuum, I'm into Ken Walker. I'm into Ken Walker this week. They could have a very positive game script, and it could be that if Sharps is banged up, we see, you know, I know they've been kind of resting Walker, but maybe it flips the other way to where they want to keep Sharps fresh. Artillery Frost, I think I said GM to you when you came in, but if not, GM again to you. James Young, people don't want to hear it, but 2025 Javonte equals 2024 Chase Brown. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because I do not have very much of that, and it feels bad, man. Feels bad. I am not going to sugarcoat it. Daniel Jones is actually unironically who I was thinking about taking there. I guess I'll take a Michael Penix. I mean, I don't mind Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor. I think it's a little cute in the 6 persons to do that, but I don't think it's like terrible. So we'll do Penix, and we'll do I'll just bring it back with Jatavion Sanders. I don't want to double up in this particular team. I think I'm fine taking playing that game, you know, a mini, just one bring back with Sanders. So this team ends up being Penix, Jonathan Taylor, Ken Walker, Jamar Chase, Drake London, and Jatavion Sanders. A perfectly reasonable BR team. Nothing to write home about, but I think it's well constructed. All right, waiting for 2. Finally one that was not snap filled. So if you guys want to hop in, come on in. The water is fine. Also, if you could like and subscribe, that would do me all the good in the world. I realize I have not asked for it, so if I could ask you just to take a moment to like the stream, and that would be fantastic. I would truly appreciate that. All right, so we're at the 6. Let's see, James. Can we get the JT Puka start at the turn? My instinct is no. Just because you see the ADP is so solid here. Like, I feel like people, the first 5 just seem to go as the first 5. And like, who are you pulling into the first round this week? Like, you don't need to pull Jefferson into the first. Like, if you want Jefferson, he's going to be there in the second in a lot of teams. He'll be there in the second from the 1 hole in a lot of teams. I like JSN a lot. Been playing plenty of him. He is truly an alpha this year. He's being, hyper targeted by Darnold. So you don't mind. I'm pretty into JSN. But like, are you pulling Trey McBride in the first? Like, he's not even normally the tight end 1. Like, Jalen Hurts, his ADP is 14. Like, you can get him in the 3rd round in some of these. So just a really interesting week if you want to try to get unique at the beginning of the draft. Just completely omitting the first 5 will just set you apart, because nobody is strong enough to do that from the early points in the draft. But anyway, if you want to fade the first 5 positions, you can do that from the 6th hole. So it's a very interesting week. It is definitely a very interesting week. So let's see what we can see. I don't even like Bucky that much. I mean, I don't want to like get scared off of because of Rachaad White was eating into his workload. I feel like Rachaad White had the best game of like his life, like last game, and Bucky still is pretty bell cowy. I'll just take Puka here. Oh wait, let's see. Who do we want to pair Puka with? I mean, we could do a Puka Hurts situation. This is not going to be rare. This is going to be a very common start. But I think it's also potentially a very good start. This game is live to shoot out. Obviously, Saquon, Puka is another way to play this thing. I think there's going to be a lot of that. Saquon, of course, famously absolutely torched the Rams last season. We'll see if some of that maybe regresses to being through the air, although I think A.J. Brown had a pretty big game or two against the Rams. So we'll see if we want to do a bet on an A.J. Brown resurgence, maybe do a little skinny stack in this one with Hurts, but I'm also perfectly open to taking Hurts naked. I mean, if there's going to be a lot of Hurts skinnies with Puka as the bring back. So if we do that, I think we want to try to get pretty different there. If we don't stack them, then all of a sudden we have a 4v4 and the kind of the world's our oyster. I think once we add AJ Brown, then I think we really want to try to get pretty different there. Jake Vinegar, GM to you. Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out this morning. Appreciate the support. Let's pull the board up, see if anyone's doing anything out of the ordinary. No Grant Calcaterra in the 2nd round. I don't understand that. There's ways to get different that makes logical sense, and then there's just doing odd stuff. I don't, that to me falls into just like odd behavior kind of thing. Yeah, so the 1 hole, you get Justin Jefferson at 12. I mean, again, he was going in the 1st round when this contest first opened. I have a pretty tough time getting to him this week, but I don't know if I want to be fully out on him. My recollection of Carson Wentz, and his late stage Carson Wentz is pretty grim, but early stage JJ McCarthy was pretty grim too. So we'll see. We will see what the people give us here. Interesting choice. I think I will queue up AJ Brown. I think let's try to make this one a skinny stack here. Drake London is tempting, but now I'm worried I'm getting a teensy bit chalky. I think that's going to be common, but maybe we can differentiate late enough. Maybe this is differentiating enough because 3 wide receiver is a bit of a disfavored build with all of the data talking about how much better 2 running back tends to be. So I think this will lead us to possibly scrolling at running back, or maybe just thinking that three receiver set is enough. I think there's a lot of teams that would have just taken a Jacobs or a Chase Brown or a Genty there and then look to fill it out. So maybe this is how we're getting unique. I will not end this team with like Juwan Johnson. I think that's too chalky. I think there's a pretty good chance Kraft and Warren go. And if I take Johnson, now I really do feel like I could be in a literal like 1v1, 2v2 against, 1,000 teams or something crazy who have started this way. So we will see. B-Spurf, I'm liking 3 wide receiver more than normal this week. Your thoughts? I think I agree. I think I agree that I like it more than normal. I think my issue is that I like the late running backs also. So as much as I I think Puka, AJ Brown, Drake London is awesome. Like I'm willing to take Drake London against most second running backs in this. And you could say the same for some of these other players. I mean, I think Debo is a very good click in this contest. Mike Evans, might go undrafted in this room. George Pickens could literally break the slate against Chicago. I mean, J-Mo broke the slate. He didn't break the slate. I mean, he had 2 catches and he almost, George Pickens could easily play that same role in that Dallas game. Ted McMillan's like, I agree with you, V-Spurf. There's a lot of really good wide receivers, and you don't have to scroll to like Iomen or Troy Franklin town to get there. So I'm with you there. I think it's definitely very viable this week, and a lot of the QBs you can stack them with are pretty much free. Jake's back on the fan and bet. Yeah, I like the fan and bet. I've made the fan and bet. I've made the fan and bet a few times myself. So my question here is do I want to take like a Genty? I mean, Walker is again very intriguing with the possibility he truly is the gets more bell cowy work if Sharps is hurt. Is this going to be too dupey if I take Walker? I don't know that it is, because I think Walker's rise has only started kind of late. I think people were out on him. I guess we're only 31% full. So maybe as the week goes on, I don't know if I want to pass on Walker here. I know I feel like I just keep coming up with excuses to take the chalky pieces. But let's do Walker, and again, I'll just do a mini Jatavion Sanders here. So we'll do Ken Walker and Jatavion Sanders. So this team ends up being Hurts, Ken Walker, Puka, AJ Brown, Drake London, Jatavion Sanders. I mean, yeah, I like this team. I think this 3 wide receiver team, I would put it up against, any 2 wide receiver team this week. I think this is perfectly reasonable way to build, especially if people are pulling up running backs for the sake of getting the 1-2-2-1 build. So I think I'm going to have more 1-2-2-1 builds, but I'm not going to pass up on something like, if I really think Drake London is a smash, taking like a Genty, who's fine. I'm not saying don't take Genty, but I see the path to glory, for London more, pretty clearly. James says I like likely drafted running backs a ton. Ramondre, Chute, and Breece Halls. Yep, those are all good. Those are all good clicks. I mean, Krosky, Merritt, Warren. Those are other names I've been clicking late. Let's see what a dog bowl's at. Let's see where we're at. We're waiting for 4. All right, maybe we'll look to do 2 more dog bowls on stream. So this can be 1. We'll run some BRs, and then maybe we'll end on a dog bowl here. I'm not sure. I know there's a bunch of Thursday shows. I can't remember when they begin. So let me see if I can't. Okay, so Pete has Lulls at 1:30, and then the Battle Royale Bash, which is awesome. You can actually get to draft with Pete. I was lucky enough to get to draft one of the last BBMs with Pete, or at least when he had 6 people on. I got to do that with him, which is really awesome, really fun show. Let's see when Davis is coming on. Davis is going live at 12:45. Is Ship Chasing today? I feel like there's an early show, but I am not sure who. It's not chip chasing. All right, well, as of now, it looks like we're kind of clear, so I might not have to just like bail when the clock strikes 10. So we'll see. We'll see how late we can go today. We're still waiting for 3 in this dog bowl if anyone wants to hop in. But yeah, let's check some running back scrolls here where things are going. Yeah, so Jaylen Warren was in the 60s. He's risen. Cross-game Merritt's still in the 60s. He hasn't really come up, but I think the jury's still out on him. I think for some people they would rather maybe scroll even further. Omari and Hampton. I know. I think when Davis drafted, he took Hampton this late. I can't say that I opposed to that. I mean, if Hampton starts getting more workload, getting Hampton as stone free, can't complain. J.K. Dobbins, if you think Harvey is, has not usurped him yet, I mean, that's very, very late to get a high usage running back. Ramondre, I mean, Ramondre is pretty much free. Pittsburgh's defense not looked that amazing this year so far. We all hope Travion Henderson would see more work. That really hasn't happened. Nick Chubb annoyingly fell in the box. He's playing a terrible defense. I can't tell you with a straight face I'm going to click Nick Chubb, but if you did, I wouldn't say it was a bad click. Buy Shell Tutin's live to get there on only a few touches. If his snap count comes up, that feels intriguing, definitely risky. We're at the point where maybe a late wide receiver is going to project better. Judkins, very good, played less than 30% of the snaps. If that comes up, very tough matchup. But if it's, I don't like to rely on garbage time, but he was catching passes. Like he could get there by volume. He could get there in garbage time. Like I don't think Judkins is like completely unclickable. Of course, Sharps has the Q tag there. So if you want to play the Q tag Fandango, you can. I think that's getting a little cute doing the Q tag running backs. But there are people that do like to intentionally use guys with Q tags in order to try to get late subs if they're out. So certainly possibility. Oh my gosh, we've got some. I already see. First of all, we've got the fake Chad G20 in here. We've got our friend of the program, Bo Kevin, winner of the week 2 Splash Swolecast Pick'em. Kevin, one of the good ones here at the 7, Best Ball Viper at the 8, and of course yours truly. Once again on the right side of the board, not my favorite place to draft from, but we shall overcome. So let's see what this room has in store for us today. How much time till the draft starts? All right, 16 seconds. 16 seconds. Kevin has been on lurking in the shadows. So I must not have said anything too offensive, Kevin, because if I have a bad take, you will hop in like some sort of bad take gin and let the people know. But yes, buenos dias, Chad. Buenos dias to you, Kevin. Appreciate you coming by as always. Appreciate the support. Good luck in this one. Love to see you in Kansas City. That would be that's the dream. That's the dream. We'll get Slappy Central to KC. So let's see if we can't get there. We got off and running, and we got CMC at the 101. The fake Chad, he takes Jonathan Taylor at the 3, and we're cruising through the early running backs here. So again at the 10. Not my favorite. Josh Jacobs, he had the note about having an ankle injury. They had a little blurb there. I guess it's been long enough to where it's no longer like flaming red anymore. Apparently has some kind of ankle thing. We will monitor that. I don't think it's enough to keep me off of Josh Jacobs. What would keep me off of Josh Jacobs is I already have quite a bit of him, so I might want to take this draft in a different direction than that. So we will see. We will see. Saquon going at the 5, Lamb at the 4, D Baggett at the 3. Let's see what he does. Takes his sweet time. to take Jamar Chase at pick 6. So Kevin windmills and runs to the podium, sprints to the podium to take Puka Nacua. That is what I would have done there myself. I believe at pick 7 would be to take Puka. All right. Deciding what I want to do. Deciding if I want to scroll to Narnia. Do I just Bucky's fine. I think I'm pretty into JSN. I don't want to pass on this like pretty darn good target volume and in a matchup I think is pretty friendly against the Saints. We're gonna get Geno at home there. I don't mind that. Let's take JSN on this team. Jordan Mason, we got a lot of him. I would be very surprised if he made it around the turn here. He would likely be the pick. If Mason goes, I wouldn't mind starting JSN, Rome Odunze. If Rome Odunze goes, I wouldn't mind Drake London. If all three of them go, I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably just take Nico. Probably just have taken Nico there. So Odunze goes. Man. I'm deciding if I actually want Mason or if I want to try to play this differently and do Drake London. Man, it is very hard to pass on Jordan Mason here with the role he's likely to get against a bad run defense. All right, we'll take Jordan Mason there. I really like Mason and London, so that was a little bit of a tough decision for me, but we will see what happens. Again, I like a lot of the scroll running backs, but at least this gives me the flexibility to where I don't necessarily have to have two scrolly running backs on this team. So Best Ball Viper, interesting. He took Jacobs at 8, so he's not worried about the ankle situation. Good to see that because we have a fair amount of Josh Jacobs, and there are those who are worried about Josh Jacobs playing Cleveland. Cleveland, of course, has looked very good against the run, but pretty bad in all other facets of the game. So, all right. So Best Ball Viper takes Drake London. Again, good to see Drake London going to a good home, sort of emphasizing. I really think Drake London is a very good pick. Kind of wish I had gone London JSN. I wish I had the courage to live my truth, but I'd be very surprised if Jordan Mason doesn't score at least once this week against that crappy Bengals run defense. Although again, Carson Wentz might not move the ball. I mean, this could be an absolute slog. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully Cam Akers doesn't eat into his workload because the Vikings seem to love Cam Akers. Not enough to keep him on their roster, to keep having to trade for him. Don't know why they just sign him to begin with, but hey, to each his own. So our friend Kevin, he takes Javonte Williams there at pick 18. So he's got Puka, Javonte. Don't mind that whatsoever. All right. So I guess I'll keep the board up for the people. All right. So I have not done any prime time paloozas. I don't know if people are interested in those. I don't know what that slate looks like. If people want, I can hop into one of those. Otherwise, after this one, I will just do a regular old battle royale. So yeah, Ken Walker here. Ken Walker picked 21. So again, keep an eye on this rise. He is definitely live to start rising up very quickly. And sometimes I think the dog bowls precede the BRs. You end up with very sharp dog bowl rooms. You end up with very high volume players. People in here are trying to get ahead of trends. So I think the dog bowl is kind of the canary in the coal mine for ADPs in the main BR. So I think I would keep an eye on that as a trend moving forward. For myself at pick 34 and pick 39, just kind of looking ahead to what the ADPs are. It's kind of a not the most fun range. It's unless you're doing very specific build, I don't really love taking one of the tight ends. I mean, those guys are fine, but how much truly better is Jake Ferguson? I mean, I wouldn't go off of underdog projections, but 8.3, 8.4, and then you know, you can get Chig, who's projected there at 7.3, and Joku 7.6. Again, I wouldn't don't use underdog projections, but just like as a general idea, like there's not that great a difference. And I'm sure if you looked at ETR's projections, they're probably not like markedly different. Like I don't know. I just have a real trouble taking this kind of mid tier of tight end unless I'm trying to do like a Ferguson Dak stack, or with Juwan Johnson if I was really trying to game stack this as a bring back to Seattle. But I don't know if I'm like super committed to needing a bring back on this particular team. Someone like Tucker Kraft or Warren, I think those guys you definitely can make an argument are would have been worth taking, but they are seldom available here on the right side of the board in the third at the 3-4 turn. So let's see what Kevin decides to do with his Puka Javante start. Does he? So he takes Chuba Hubbard. I like the Chuba Hubbard pick. Again, I am playing that game to be a shootout. I would absolutely take George Pickens if he came to me. But like Pollard, Kyron, Priest Hall, gosh, it is just kind of an ugly range here. Jalen Warren I like a lot. So again, Best Ball Viper taking him at pick 32. Jalen Warren's been rising up. He has been rising up, and I don't know if Best Ball Viper knows my tendencies and knew I would have taken him, or if he's just that into him. I don't presume to be important enough for Best Ball Viper to be monitoring, but I was likely to take a receiver and then probably Warren there at 39. So Warren was not going to make it back to him there. We'll take George Pickens. I think George Pickens at pick 34 is kind of a gift. I am more than happy to do that. I would love to be able to then get DJ Moore with Pickens, though. I'm live to just take Dak. That'd be kind of nice. Then I wouldn't have to worry about a QB stack because Dak will not make it back to me. And then I'm kind of in the like late back stacking range. DJ Moore is intriguing. This guy takes Dak for no gosh darn reason, but that's the world we live in, folks. We live in a cruel, dark world where no one's looking out for you. Do we want DJ Moore here, or interesting choice. I'm just gonna take a random AJ Brown share. I know that's a little odd, but AJ Brown, I don't mind taking him unstacked because a true Jalen Hurts ceiling game is going to involve some rushing touchdowns, and so if Hurts to Brown, if Brown is going off, we might see Hurts' stat line look more like a traditional pocket passer. So I'm more than happy to take him unstacked. I think there's going to be some squeaky wheel situation going on. Could I have taken DJ Moore as the bring back to Pickens? Sure. I don't know if that's, how that might be done kind of frequently. Caleb doesn't even always come back around here. Like people do take Caleb naked. I guess the Doomsday Drafters over here, so maybe I could have snuck him around and that been fine, but wasn't sure if I wanted to bring back. Donnie asked, any interest in running back JSN with Kamara? Yes, I like that combo quite a bit. Kamara over here, he went all the way at pick 25. He sometimes does come to this side of the world, but not in this particular draft. But yeah, I definitely like Kamara. I definitely like Kamara this week. I mean, Seattle was quite vulnerable to Jalen Warren through the air, so I don't see why Kamara couldn't have a similar type production in that game there if we're going to draw some through lines. GM, hey Dave, GM to you. Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Appreciate the support. Donnie, the Walker Rise, Sharbs has a Q tag. He did not practice on Wednesday. Yeah, we don't have a ton of word on what that is, but it was a full DNP. It wasn't just a limited. So I think people's antennae are up on that. And also, Walker looked really good last game. I think he eclipsed 100 yards on like 10 carries, and we just had one of those like random hyper efficiency games, which is why he's really fun in best ball and really annoying in all other formats. Because like it's kind of hard to predict when he goes ham, but when he does, he like smashes slates. So I think that's the reason. I mean, Walker at 21, it's pretty steamy. I think if Sharps practices today, we might see that cool a touch. But I mean, I think Ken Walker's fine, but I don't know if he's like meaningfully, should be ahead of like Kamara and Chuba. I like Warren a lot. I mean, I hope Warren's new price is not the third rounder. I'm not going to get a ton of him anymore, but I was clicking him quite heavily late. So I need to start thinking about what my my QB situation is going to be. If I'm looking over here, this guy is probably going to take Caleb. I guess we have a few late stacks we can. I think we have a few late stacks we can consider. Let's see what our friend Kevin's done. So Kevin is going to play the Q-Tag game a little with Jaden Daniels. If Jaden Daniels is healthy, then obviously getting him in the fourth round is a generational wealth spot. Definitely at the point of concern. If I had to bet, I would say Jaden Daniels will not play this week, but it is not completely unreasonable. Jatavion Sanders at pick 52. I mean, this person is setting up a Bryce Young stack. I was going to say one of my options would be a Sanders, Bryce Young emergency stack. That's now off the board. I need to start looking at my my options. I don't think I want to do like Juwan Johnson, Spencer Rattler, and I can't do it anyway. Pitts, the Fannin bet, Goddard, Chig. Where is T-Law? Man, that is getting kind of gross. T-Law Strange. Very interesting to see Egbuka Baker here. I mean, my God, that's pretty nice for somebody to be able to stack that this late in the game here. Trying to decide what I want to do as far as a very late bailout stack or just take somebody unstacked here. Maybe we do something that people are simply not going to be doing. Let's take shoot. I should take T-Law first. Oh God, nimble fingers. All right, we're going to take T-Law and then Strange. If this guy takes Strange, then I'm just going to throw my laptop out the window. But I have to imagine, I could not remember if somebody had Brian Thomas Jr. or like Travis Hunter or something to my right, and I didn't have time to check. So I figured I'd take T-Law first and then Brenton Strange. Again, you could argue that I should have taken Strange first, but you never know. So I figured I'd just take the quarterback off the board. Strange would be a very odd pick for Buster's boys, but you know what? People have their scroll down preferences, and I don't think people are going to stack T-Law and Strange. I don't know if this is good. This could be really god awful, but it's going to be fairly unique. I will say that. I'm going to say this is going to be unique. He takes Hawkinson, which makes sense. We'll take Brenton Strange. I like Brenton Strange in a vacuum. I think we're kind of all very down on the Jaguars, and so this is a little bit of a buy low opportunity for them. Would I rather have this with like BTJ or something? Sure, I probably would. Did I possibly enrage the fake Chad? Maybe, but it looks like he might get Baker anyway. So you know what? Things are just working out for him. Things are working out for him over there, because I would be at this point a little surprised to see Egbuka, to see Baker go. But yeah, this late stack Egbuka Baker would have been kind of a nice 5-6 turn thing. I'm not super big on Egbuka, but I see the vision there. Best Ball Viper, he does a London Penix double there. So again, good to see that some of these strategies we've been using are things that some of the sharper players are doing. I just don't like Jake Browning at all. Like I would have a hard time clicking Jake Browning. I guess Herbert was already off the board, so that was his one stack, and he did have Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, so he needs Jake Browning to be good. I guess I can't fault him for that, but I think the people taking Browning thinking they're going to be unique. Let's see what Kevin did. So Kevin adds Zach Ertz. So he's got a full Ertz, Jaden Daniel. Sorry, I thought you had I thought you had McLaurin on this team too, but Ertz Daniels. So builds that stack with Cortland Sutton. I like that. Fake Chad does get Baker on his team. Things just seem to work out for him. Dallas Goedert, pick 71. I mean, I love that. Whether you have Hurts or not, that is really nice. People are. He had the Q tag. He practiced on Wednesday. Might have been a limited practice, but it seems like he's trending towards playing. You know, getting a unknown Dallas Goedert to me is not a bad tight end click. Again, whether or not you have Hurts there. So yeah, don't mind this team. We got JSN, Jordan Mason, George Pickens, AJ Brown, T-Law, and Strange. You know, feels a little like kind of a 5-leg parlay versus a truly, you know, team that tells any kind of great individual story. But that said, in a vacuum, I mean, JSN, Pickens, AJ Brown are some of my favorite bets. We got Pickens at a nice discount. You know, Jordan Mason, they're calling him a bell cow. And then we've got just like a weird one-off stack between T-Law and Brenton Strange. And, you know, I'm not really afraid of like Houston's defense in any like truly meaningful way. So you never know. I mean, Strange is definitely live to get there with a touchdown or two. So, yep. All right, we move on. Kevin said, "Wow, he took Marv, Kyler, and McBride." Somehow I missed that. Who did that? Oh yes, the 12 hole did get McBride, MHJ, and Kyler. Yeah, I mean, this is not a bad team at all. McBride, Ojunze, MHJ, and Kyler. I mean, MHJ pick 61 feels like an overreaction team. Yeah, I thought they might have done Baker, Egbuka there, but it seems like they were already kind of locked into this Kyler stack. Kevin says, "I'm gonna have to decide between Knicks and Mariota. Might go Mariota." Yeah, you know, for me, I feel like if I was doing pre-ranks, I might do Knicks only because I think there's going to be a lot of Daniels people who then just want to naturally go to the backup. So I feel like more people will slot in Mariota, but also I think a lot of people don't bother to set ranks, and Knicks is going to be higher. So I don't know. I would probably, that'd be like a Nez question, like for one of the like Nez or Mike, like one of the masterclass people who would be more in the weeds. My vibes take would be the people who set ranks would put Mariota, but the lazy people aren't. So I don't know if there's more lazy people or sweaty people in that. All right, let's fire up a PTP. The people want a primetime Palooza. I don't know if that's true. I don't even know if I want a primetime Palooza. Well, I got a primetime Palooza. Let's see what oh my God, Cam Scatabo, running back 3, our king. Our fake Chad following me fake Chad. I'm beginning to think you're in here. I'm beginning to think you are in the chat. So please identify yourself. I'll stop calling you fake Chad if you say hi in the chat. That is my promise. I will refer to you by your full government name, Chad G20, leader of the G20 summit himself, Chad. Anyway, we are. Gail says, "You down for the PTP?" Yeah, you know me. Yes, the Gail. Hey, the Gail. Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out, running a primetime Palooza or two. I don't love that the primetime Palooza is like a $10 price point. Like it kind of adds up for a draft that you just like rip in so fast. And I'm also like seem to be terrible at primetime Palooza, so I should probably stop playing them. But let's see what the all right, running back landscape. Dear God. E-Chain, Cook, Scatabo, and then the wheels just come spiraling off. That seems bad. Wide receiver, Neighbors, Tyreek, Coleman, Waddle, Worthy. Are people even playing this week? Like, how do you even fill out a roster? Travis Kelce, Kincaid, Theo Johnson, Dawson Knox. Dear God, it's so ugly. Well, we're definitely taking Cam Scatabo because, like, you know what channel you're watching. All right, let's do Scatabo, Tyreek. What could go wrong? Let's at least make sure we get one running back that we're excited about. Mike Robb says, a lot of us would have problems if our UD name was our government name. Yeah, I'm assuming that his actual name is Chad G20. It's like one of Elon's kids. There's like a number, there's a symbol, there's a non-ASCII character, and yeah, that's Chad G20 out there. Signing his attendance in elementary school. Teacher doesn't believe that's his name. But let's see. All right, so Mahomes goes there. Quarterback, I'm not worried. No, I am worried. Very worried. I need Tua because Russ might not even finish the game. Chad, don't take Tua from me. I know you're listening, but be nice. I thought of this first. Gosh darn it. Yeah, I'm a little worried that Russell Wilson gets benched midway through this game. I don't think I'm going to do a lot of these. This seems miserable. Maybe there's an edge in here because people are going to get frozen out of positions, but this is terrible. Oh, he takes Worthy. All right, so we're definitely taking Tua. Do we want to go Tua Kincaid? That seems good. Yeah, all right, let's do Tua Kincaid because tight end is going to go off a cliff on us. So we'll do Tua Kincaid. At least we have one of each position of people playing American tackle football tonight, tonight and Sunday night. So we've got Scatabo, Tyreek, Tua, and Kincaid. See what other people are doing. A-Chain, Neighbors, Worthy, Keon Coleman, James Cook, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Hollywood Brown, Josh Allen, Pacheco. None of us are winning anything. Maybe me. I actually like my team. See how we can land the plane. Let's see how we can land this particular sketchy aircraft, which we are flying. I unironically feel like Kareem Hunt is probably a good click in these. Josh Palmer, I don't mind the Josh Palmer thing. The Dolphins secondary is god-awful. So let's take Josh Palmer, Kareem Hunt. I mean, Malik Washington does go with Tua, but yeah, this is fine. This is fine, right? Tua, Scatabo, Kareem Hunt, Tyreek Hill, Josh Palmer, Dalton Kincaid. I mean, I don't know if I need to draft another one. I think we just drafted the shipper here, to be honest with you guys. So probably not. But it does seem like let's look at some other teams and just so we can kind of see what goes on. Russell Wilson feels dicey. I mean, this person got Dawson Knox as their tight end. If you don't get Kelce or Kincaid, I mean, Tyler Johnson, I think you can squint and tell yourself is good, but Dawson Knox, I mean, good God, that's brutal. And it's a PTP, so I mean, Dawson Knox just needs 2 catches for 6 yards and a touchdown, and he might be the highest scoring tight end on the slate, but I'd much rather have somebody I think is going to be involved, like Kincaid or Kelce. All right, well, that was fun. Let's do a BR. Let's do a BR. All right, waiting for 3 if anyone wants to hop in, and I'm going to take this opportunity to blow my nose because I, believe it or not, still have this cold. Still fighting it. So give me 1 second. Dear God. Okay. I don't know how, I've never seen, Pete or Davis have to blow their nose on stream. Maybe now that Davis is having a kid, he will experience the awesome power that is a infant's or toddler getting you sick, because it seems to happen quite frequently here at the Casa de Candles. All right. B Grandy. All right. I see B Grandy here at the 4. If anyone else is in here, let me know. The fake Chad, we defeated him so badly in that primetime Palooza. He vowed never to return. So, you hate to, you shed a tear for the foes you vanquish, but, you got to do what you got to do here. It's a dog eat dog world in the underdog streets. So we got B Grandy here. I don't recognize any of these other names. In fact, four no Badgers. Yeah, again, I never make judgments that the no Badgers are going to be bad players, but my antenna are up that they might be a little more unorthodox with some of the stuff they do. So we will see. And we're getting started. Wondering what y'all are doing for Survivor. So I have about 10, 12 Survivor teams. None of them have None of them have perished. My current plan is to just go 100% Green Bay. I just think the Packers are going to beat the Browns, and I don't know if I want to get too cute and split those up. I also am aware that the Packers might be the best team in football, and we should be saving them. But I am also aware that teams that sometimes are the best teams in football get 1 or 2 injuries, and suddenly they're kind of middle of the pack. And it's only been 2 weeks, and I'm not a big team saving bro. But right now, that is how I'm playing it. Obviously, if the Packers lose, I lose all my teams. I really don't want to pick the Bills tonight. I know it sounds crazy. I think the Dolphins are live. Just bring an upset. I don't like using short survivor teams on short weeks. That's just a rule of thumb of mine that served me well. We've just seen weird things happen on short weeks. And I also, frankly, just don't want to root against the Dolphins in my survivor pool. So maybe that's a leak. But that's kind of my thoughts right now. Are the Packers are the direction I want to go for touchdown survivor. Me and half the world have Jordan Mason. It feels like a way that we're all going to be like, I can't believe we were all in on this Carson Wentz led team to be our touchdown survivor, and we fell for it. But that's kind of where I'm leaning now. We do see a no badger doing something weird, taking Bucky at 1. Obviously, you could see someone with all the badges on Earth doing something weird, like take Bucky at 1. But we did get something odd in this room. We got Saquon at 5. Let's see what Dez does. Take CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, I would love a Lamb Barkley team, but it is not to be here. Hopefully, they go by ADP and they take Jamar Chase, because I would love a Saquon Puka team. They're not going to be rare, but I will take them when I get the chance to kind of build that little game stack when given the chance. He's thinking, he's hemming and hawing, and he takes JSN. All right. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Let's take Puka. So we get Puka Saquon. I have not been building this through Matt Stafford. Is that bad? Maybe. I just feel like the day Matt Stafford is the QB you need in BR it just doesn't feel like it's ever going to happen. So we'll take a Puka share there, but we will look for alternative avenues to stack with our quarterback. Going at the eliminator, I got 12 teams. I looked at who I'm playing, and I don't recognize a single person. So I don't have any fun. Don't have any fun Twitter sweats. I don't have any fun Discord sweats. If you do find you're playing me and I missed your username, let me know. But it is unfortunate. I thought I was advancing 15 teams, and then Monday night went south, and I only got 12 of my surviving teams through. So, these contests where you lose 50%, it feels like you're going to advance more than 50%, and then when you don't, it's like, well, shouldn't be too surprised. Unless apparently you were a sidekick user, in which case you're advancing like 70% of your teams each week, and you're just an absolute juggernaut. But we'll see. I mean, there's been a few outliers where Mondre's carried. He's super high advance rate player. QJ's been a very high advance rate player. We'll see if some of those guys regress. We might get some more evening out of the fields. It'd be pretty sweet if we got Odunze there at pick 17. I would not mind that. Passing on Josh Jacobs again. The ankle thing, a little weird, but if he somehow didn't play, whatever bye week plugin you get is going to be more than fine. I do want a little more Chase Brown. I haven't been taking much Chase Brown, and that seems bad. So let's take Drake London, and then we'll eye up Chase Brown as the next player. If Chase Brown goes, we'll take Mason. If Mason and Chase Brown go, then we'll capitulate and take Javonte. Yes, or you're me, says James Young. James Young reminding us of his elite advance rate, fighting the good fight for the non-RTA community here. All right. So Dak goes. So Dak goes to the CeeDee Lamb drafter. Makes a ton of sense for him there. Probably going to add a running back, I would assume, at this point. But you never know. You never know if he thinks Brock Bowers, This is a nice discount on Bowers. If you're a Bowers bro, if you think he's going to be healthy, then this is certainly a spot to take him. I'm neither Bowers bro nor do I think he's healthy, so I'll take Chase Brown. I'll do the Chase Brown side of this game here. So we get Saquon, Chase Brown, Puka Nacua, and Drake London. Of course, we're in the weird spot of do we take another Penix team? I mean, Penix London is fine. It's fine. I think it's going to be heavily done, so I'm kind of trying to get a little bit different there. If I can get Tyler Warren past this tight end bro, I would take Tyler Warren and then do Tyler Warren and Daniel Jones. Tyler Warren at the top of the queue, but the Q tag might save us. So let's see what he does. He takes Noah Fant. Noah Fant. All right, so none of these guys can go to. No, J Money could go to tight end. J Money could go to tight end. We'll see what B Grandy does. I imagine B Grandy's setting up Jordan Love with Jacobs and Kraft, but obviously B Grandy can do whatever B Grandy would like. So we'll see what his plan is there. Hopefully J Money again doesn't go too tight end. That would be kind of annoying because it's so rare. So when it happens and you get sniped, it's like kind of tilting. I could take Kyle Pitts and then do a double stack. A little less interested in that. Mike asks how I'm feeling about Guillotine. I'm feeling better than I was before because Scatabo was one of my running backs. So I went from having no RB1s to Cam Scatabo and feeling pretty good about it. So B Grandy does take Jordan Love. That of course makes sense. I'm going to take Tyler Warren, and then I will take Danny Dimes. So we do get a Danny Dimes Warren stack there. Tyler Warren does have the Q tag. If he doesn't play, that sucks. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, you imagined correctly. Yeah, well, P. Grandy, I know you're a rational actor, so I would have been, surprised if you didn't take Jordan Love there. I was actually wondering if you were going to try to push Love around the corner, being that I was the only one that needed a quarterback. So it would have been weird for me to take Love from you, but obviously, I could have. I mean, I don't think Love is someone you could not take unstacked. You could end up in a situation where Love gets there and no single pass catcher does, because they do have they could end up spreading the offense around quite a bit. So I see that. Let's see who you're taking last. I mean, only BTJ went of all the wide receivers. I would be surprised if that was the one particular one you wanted to get there. So you end up with Love, JT, Jacobs, Jamar Chase, MHJ, and Tucker Kraft. Yeah, no, I like your team. Going with the Green Bay blows out Cleveland, which is the game script I have in my head for that game. So I think that's a perfectly reasonable team. Very interesting to see Noah Fant go here at pick 24. So this guy just threw ADP entirely out. Is that who is A. Smith? Who is this? Who's A. Smith? Arian Smith? Question mark? Yeah, Arian Smith. MVS. Oh man, I hope this guy's not trying to get this thrown out. That is some wild stuff there. But you know what? I don't think they throw this out because it's not like we got any kind of crazy ADP value. I would be disappointed if they toss this draft because people are allowed to play bad and make mistakes. MVS is, probably going to be active for the Niners. But yeah, very odd stuff from TS3000. He also might be a stormtrooper. That looks like a stormtrooper's number. So he could be just at his post on the Death Star ripping BRs, and that's fine. That's fine. Here, B Grandy's a Packer fan, so bias. I mean, I'm not a Packer fan, and I think they're my favorite to win the Super Bowl. Joel says his draft's getting tossed. Maybe, but again, like, what did any of us get for that? In the last round, like Daniel Jones is a big scroll. Caleb and Baker, they're not even owned 100% of drafts. Like MHJ is rarely owned. Like I don't know. I don't feel like anyone got anything like wild because, especially like pick 36. Like who cares? You could take Chad Candles at pick 36 and it doesn't impact the draft. So I don't know. I don't think you should toss drafts because people play play stupid. I think you should toss drafts if there's like, I don't want to say integrity concerns because then I sound like the basement guy. Um, like if this happened to another drafter, not me, I don't think I would be like, oh, you got to throw this out. Like, I don't know. Mike Robb says Arian has stats this year, so I don't see it getting thrown out. Joel, though, says I've seen less egregious BRs get thrown out. Yeah, I mean, all I hope is that Underdog's consistent. All I hope is that they're consistent in what they do. But yeah, we'll see. If anyone wants to hop in, we're waiting for one. We're waiting for one. If you want to join, get on in and off we go. Off we go. Again, I am terrible at asking for likes and subs, but if you could like and or subscribe, I would appreciate it. It does not look like the Stormtrooper is in this draft, so hopefully we're in better hands than before. We got B Grandy here at the 3. We'll see what he tries to concoct in this draft. Again, appreciate all your support. It's so much fun to do these drafts. I hope you all are having a good time. I hope you are. I hope your exposures are where you want them this week. We'll be on again tomorrow doing the same thing. Talk a little Thursday night recap. Happy to talk Survivor if you guys want to go over DFS stuff. We could always do that if there's anything. I mean, it's the floor is yours. I'm more than happy to talk anything NFL. Waivers, manage, dynasty. I'm not a dynasty bro, but there's a lot of people in chat who are. I'm happy to give my opinions on those things. Mike says people draft backup QBs in the draft too. It's usually only thrown out if it's an early pick, not a late one. Yeah, that to me, your 5th and 6th rounds are just scroll the heck down. Picks anyway. I think, like you said, it's much more of a big deal if they do weird stuff that lets truly unknown combos. B. Grady takes Jonathan Taylor. I really want a CD Lamb team, so I'm just going to take CD Lamb, even though I've been taking tons of Saquon. I want to build something different here, so we're going to try to do a CD Lamb, Dallas stack. So we'll give Polymath the opportunity to take Puka. Of course, he's going to end up with Saquon, so he's probably going to end up with a nice Saquon Puka team here because that's just the way things tend to go. So let's see what Son J Rich does. I think I want to do a Lamb Odunze team with a couple scroll down running backs. I'm just going to telegraph what my plan is for this. Oh God, Mike says NFL parking prices per stadium talk confirmed. You said anything NFL. Yeah. This is well out of my knowledge base here, Mike. But hey, if you have strong opinions, I will go to the mat for the community if we need to lower ticket parking prices in at Gillette Stadium. I will beat that drum loudly for you, Mike. That was one of my favorite parts of the old Madden games. I'm sure you could still do it with setting the prices of the concessions and parking. I remember, playing in the dorm with my friends and we're obsessing over the hot dogs are too expensive. You got to make it for $3, as though it was some great decision that we had to make. And yeah, you could jack up the price of the parking and do things. I have no idea how much those actually in a game that old impacted anything, or if we were just turning knobs that were not even connected. But I do have fond memories of messing with NFL parking prices in the old iterations of Madden there. Let's see. So we did get our Rome Lamb stack. I like Kraft. I'm kind of interested in taking Drake London here. I mean, let's try another 3. Let's try another 3 wide receiver team. I'll be a little irritated if I passed on Dak and I don't get him. I don't know why either of these guys would take unstacked Dak unless they're planning to do Dak Pickens. People are inclined to do weird stuff. Jalen Hurts is also available unstacked too. which is intriguing. I didn't even consider that. I'd have to consider him at pick 21. At a certain point, that becomes somewhat enticing, because I got to think most Lamb Odunze stacks are going to have Dak and not going to have Jalen Hurts on them. So I wonder if we do that. I wonder if that's how we get very different in this. So let's try that. Let's try to get unique, because I think almost every team that does this will have Dak on it and not have Jalen Hurts. So let's try to get a little squirrely here. And yeah, again, this is going to be a naked Hurts team, or I could take Goddard, because people are not taking Goddard in this at all. That is somewhat interesting to me as well. We still are going to need a running back, but that's okay. James says, where do you think Rome's ADP settles by the time BR closes? Man, he's been rocketing up, huh? Where did he go? Well, he went to me at 9. So I'm part of the problem. I don't know if he gets much past 15. I feel like he's kind of going to be where he is, James. That'd be my thought. But, truly nothing would greatly surprise me. Chase, I mean, do we want to get cute? I don't think we need to scroll at running back. I don't know if this is fancy play syndrome, but I kind of want this like Jalen Warren. I'm pretty into Jalen Warren. I think he's going to keep getting more. I mean, Aaron Rodgers came out and said, like, we need to throw him more. Aaron Rodgers has been a check down artist in the past. It seems like Jalen Warren is, winning more of their role. Like, it might be variable week to week. Arthur Smith is kind of a, he's kind of a football terrorist. He'll when you think you got him figured out, he'll just like start incorporating like Cordell Patterson. I don't believe he's on Pittsburgh. I don't know. I actually think he retired. Pat. Yeah. I can't spell. He's not in the player pool. I don't think Cordell Patterson. I think he retired. But, I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh signed Cordell Patterson just to ruin our lives in the next 2 days. But, let's get Jalen Warren. Let's get really far afield. Let's try to win this BR by like 20 points and take Patterson. Or excuse me, Patterson. Take Jalen Warren there. Dallas Goedert. I know I hate reading these. Officially limited Wednesday. I'd be surprised if he didn't play. I don't know if I need to get cute though. I mean, I could just take Juwan Johnson, who feels like he's kind of this seems real. Like, this is back-to-back weeks, 11 targets, 9 targets. I'm not really worried too much about that changing. It does seem like he's just so heavily involved. So let's take Juwan Johnson here. We'll do naked Jalen Hurts. So we're going to do a kind of a chalky build, but not like Warren obviously makes this not chalky because he's not going to be very highly owned in the 6 persons. But Jalen Hurts with this Lamb Odunze, maybe just doing Jalen Hurts with Lamb Odunze, I should have just kind of not gone far afield with running back. But I really do like Warren this week. I really do want to get some more Warren. Chase Brown at pick 35. That's nice for this drafter, but you're going to see that in some BR rooms. So let's fire up another one. I might do 1 or 2 more and then head on out. But again, we're waiting for one. If you want to hop on in. We're just trying to get a little different. We're trying to see if we can't win another BR here, because that would be, one could be a fluke. If we ship 2, then we might have to be taken seriously in the BR street. So we'll see. We'll see if we can't take down another one here. All right, let's see. Did anyone get in? I don't recognize anyone's name, but obviously, if you are in here, please let me know. Please let me know. We're in the 5 hole. Probably going to end up with Taylor or Lamb, but we will see. I don't mind getting either of those guys. Really like Jonathan Taylor. If people are curious, my exposures in this, the main BR. So pretty flat as far as quarterbacks. Daniel Jones, I don't mind him naked. I've been taking some Daniel Jones at the end of drafts. Running backs, tons of Jordan Mason, Saquon, Jacobs, Bijan, Taylor, CMC, Warren. So, nobody getting too out of hand other than maybe Jordan Mason, but he was so cheap, and I think he just keeps on rising. Wide receiver, JSN, Drake London, Puka, Ted McMillan, Devontae Adams. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of living my truth at receiver and then tight ends. A lot of Warren, McBride, Sanders. So this is kind of a tight range of tight ends. I don't know if I need to broaden that, but I think I like my tight ends being a little bit concentrated this week versus trying to like spread it out. It's a really bad feeling when you have 5 right and then you just randomly clicking tight end and you just like randomly clicked wrong. I'd kind of rather just try to keep that from getting like, from having 12 different tight ends. I don't think that's how I want to play that position. So we don't get Jonathan Taylor. We do get CeeDee Lamb. Let's take Lamb. I'm almost intrigued to do that again, to do another Lamb Odunze team, but perhaps build that differently. So Mike says the amount of time streamers say they would take a man naked would be alarming to the normies with that context. Yeah, it's just so much easier to stay than unstacked. Like, I mean, we could say unstacked, but it's a clunkier word. But yes, I do. Someone yesterday did say that they were in their office and listening out loud, and a coworker heard me refer to Daniel Jones as naked, and required some explanation. So I am sympathetic to that, but it's hard for me to just naturally say unstacked because it's clunky. It's just a clunkier word. All right. Let's see what the room is going to give us in this room with our Lamb Odunze stack. Do we try to get weird? Do we try to do Hurts? Do we just make it a Dak team? Who knows? But we'll see what the room decides to hand to us. Thinking on it, if I'm going to be able to get this Lamb Odunze combo, maybe it would have made sense to take Chase Brown there, because Chase Brown will not always be available, whereas Jaylen Warren will always be available. I mean, unless you end up in like a weird room where someone else has the exact same plan. So maybe sometimes if you're doing this like particular build, take the value, and then if you're going to do it again, then take the scroll. Just kind of thinking out loud for these kind of situations that we may find ourselves in somewhat frequently. I do love the Drake London click. We're not going to get him this time. I do have so much of this Jordan Mason bet. Let's do a Tucker Kraft. Let's do Tucker Kraft here. I think I see the concepts of a plan forming on this team. This could end up being a love team, although it might just make more sense to just take Dak here. Make more sense to take Dak and then do a couple of scroll down receivers, or a receiver and a receiver and a running back. So Javonte goes. Let's just take Dak. Let's take Dak because I'm okay with the scrolly receivers, and this time we will just get this straight up Dak Rome bring back. I think this is another one. This draft we absolutely do need to scroll for running back, because this Lamb Odunze Kraft Dak, I guarantee you there are multiple iterations of this exact same lineup in the ether, and we're going to have to find a way to differentiate ourselves there. Last time getting Hurts threw us way off the board. I like that. This time again, it might rely on a couple scroll down running backs. I don't know if I want to do Pickens and Dak, although I'm open to that. I'm just going a Dallas onslaught. Certainly interesting. I do worry that we're just trying to replay what happened last week with the Lions, and it's going to be very different. Outdoors in Chicago is much different than indoors in Detroit. So I'm not sure we're going to see that like giga shootout, but I also probably want to build a few lineups where we do see that game script. It is the highest total game of the week, so it probably does make sense to have some games where we're playing that accordingly. All right. So two of these people can't take running backs. Balin can. Ren Mittens cannot. So we actually are perfectly compatible, because he can't take any more position players. I can't take a quarterback, and I'm not taking a tight end. So we are not going to impact each other like two ships in the night. Me and the turn are going to pass one another. I'm almost thinking maybe I do a Dallas double. I don't think I've done that in the portfolio yet, and then I'm just going to have to scroll. Maybe we just take Warren again. We do a deep scroll again. I think Kamara. If you don't want to scroll all the way to Warren, there's probably not a ton of teams are going to do this with the Kamara or Hubbard. I think that's fine. I just have a feeling that Warren might be like a mega smash this week. I mean, we have been waiting for the Warren smash for a long time as a community. So possible we get it. This guy takes Caleb. I will take Pickens. So we will do a Dallas double. Again, this is going to rely on a very specific game script. It's a little bit thin for the main BR. This is definitely a lineup I would love in like the Deposit Kingdom contest in the 3 max. This feels like super live over there, but you know what? It could be what we need to ship the main BR. All right, one more draft, then we're going to get on out of here. Let's see what the Dog Bowl's at. Is it going to be a Dog Bowl? It's going to be a Dog Bowl. All right, last draft of the day. We're going to make it a good one. We got the 101. Oh my gosh. Everything is coming up candles here. Everything's coming up candles. So we're going to punch our ticket right now. We're going to punch our ticket to the Dog Bowl, and we're just going to take Bijan at the 101. And yeah, let's go. I mean, CMC is close to flipping Bijan. CMC is absolutely close to flipping Bijan, but again, my truth is that I want as much of this game as possible, and I just will not ignore Bijan there at the 1.1 to try to get it. So, yep, it also means we're going to have the very last pick in the draft. We're going to get Mr. Irrelevant. So, you know, it's easier to do that when your last pick is like a tight end you're agnostic about, but I also don't necessarily want to lock myself into that, but I'm just like thinking out loud how I want to construct a team. But let's start with Bijan Robinson, and off we go. So we're here next to Nez. We've got some other luminaries like Crutches in here. We got Easy at the 11, and yeah, let's go. Let's get to Kansas City right now. Let's get to KC. Great way to end the stream on one of these. Again, if you haven't, please like and sub. Keeps the morning stream lights on. And yeah, it's so much fun to do these with you all. And hopefully tomorrow it's a celebratory mood if the Dolphins can keep it close, or even pull it out over the evil Buffalo Bills this year. Heaven knows our Tyreek Hill bags need a little more life than we've been getting. And do not get me started on Jalen Waddle. It's been tough. It's been tough. All right, so we got Nez take CMC. So we got Jonathan Taylor at the 3, Lamb at the 4, Saquon at the 5. So nobody really goes too far afield in these in the Dog Bowls early on. I think we did see someone take Bucky kind of early, or was it Josh Jacobs? But best ball call was cooking breakfast. You need to trademark coming up candles. It's like Fitz. Yeah. I always say like when it's like everything's coming up candles, I think of like Milhouse from The Simpsons when he's like everything's coming up Milhouse. It's kind of like, you know, similar thing. It's probably not actually ever coming up Milhouse or candles, but you know what? Maybe this time it does. And we're gonna get home. So, all right, seeing so Crutches. I feel like I've seen Crutches take Jefferson at the 8 before, so he's not worried about Wentz there. Yeah. Breaking news: Jalen Waddle already seen entering the blue medical tent. Yeah, it's like a second home for Waddle. He feels cozy in there. Not great. Jalen Waddle with his propensity to just like leave at the halftime like he's AD. It is absolutely infuriating stuff there. So the 12 hole gets JSN Nico. I don't mind that start at all from the 12, especially if he finds some running backs he's happy about. Easy taking Mason at the 11. We didn't know how good we had it when we had Mason in the 3rd round. He had that fake ADP in the like 50s and 60s. People were getting him actually in the 30s. I never got him in the 30s. I got him in the late 20s a couple times, but yeah, it's our mid 20s, not even the late 20s, I don't think. But Jordan Mason now officially a first-round Dog Bowl selection there. The Wood, he takes Javonte again. I know Nez is a Javonte truther in these DBQs. We're now getting to a range where a bunch of people have taken wide receivers. Let's see which way wow, Mike Evans at 17. That is, I think that's very early. So Crutches might have a specific build in mind. Yeah, ADP of 27. So yeah, that's a little bit of a surprise to me, but I'm never going to criticize Crutches. Crutches is super sharp, knows what he's doing. Drake London at pick 18. Jalen Hurts goes to the Puka drafter, so he gets that game stack there. And now the board, oh my God, what did I just hit? Okay. Now the board is swinging back to us. So let's see, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? Romo Dunze, definitely tempting. Chase Brown, also tempting. I mean, if I'm going to live my truth in this game, I do like the Tet McMillan Bijan situation. I know I did a Bijan Hubbard Tet team. I think I did that earlier and built it that way. That's certainly live. We could build that and surround it with different parts. Feels like it might be hard to pass on Chase Brown at this point and to not have to worry about our running backs here. Let's see what Nez does. So Nez takes Devontae Adams. That, I was certainly thinking about Devontae Adams. Let's get Tet McMillan on this team. I don't know if I really want to overstack again. So let's take Chase Brown. I feel like this is a perfectly reasonable way for us to build here. So let's get Chase Brown, Bijan, and Tet McMillan. I like the start. We got some flexibility. We're definitely live to take Bryce Young again on this team. We're also live to build another late stack in this one. So let's see what happened. Catches, touchdown, still gets buried. Are you talking about Jalen or Mike Evans there? Because Mike Evans, Mike Evans at pick 17. Normally I wouldn't bat an eye, but that's been a little bit of a discount on him there. Manta Ray here, he gets the Odunze Pickens game stack, which is something that we've been seeing in dog bowls. Dak goes immediately thereafter to the CD Lamb drafter. So, I mean, I would not have envisioned Manta Ray expecting Dak to come back, but he's definitely live to be the ultimate Caleb drafter on this team. We'll see. We'll keep an eye, see if Mike game stacks this. If he takes DJ Moore, we do see that somewhat. DJ Moore is kind of as a later ADP, but just wondering, just trying to keep an eye, see what people are doing, how people are building, not just ourselves. We, of course, have Bijan, Tet McMillan, and Chase Brown on the team. We're now getting to a couple of players who have two wide receivers, no tight ends. So, no running backs. Jordan Love goes unstacked, pick 31. I mean, that's a little bit of a wild card move, in my opinion. Wonder if Nez was kind of eyeing Love coming back to him, or if now he's kind of coming up with a backup plan. But Love unstacked, pick 31. A little unusual. Let's see what Crutches does. Crutches is in the market for a running back here. And I'm also wondering if Crutches is eyeing up taking Baker on his team, and if so, when he takes Baker. Because our last dog bowl, we saw Baker go in the last round. Tony Pollard, perfectly reasonable click at running back there. And now the board is looping back around. The board's looping back around. So, yeah, so far so good. So far, I mean, I'm never going to be mad about this particular start. The Bijan, Tet, and Chase Brown opening act to a draft. I think I'm more inclined to do game stacks in the dog bowls than I am in the big BR a little bit. I think you don't have to be quite as perfect, and that just means we have to be right about less things to ship a dog bowl seat. And hopefully we are right about this Carolina Atlanta game being a good game environment for us. So Chuba at 35. I like Easy's team with Mason, McBride, and Hubbard. To me, that's a pretty nice beginning. And there's some good late receivers that you can snag here. once kind of, yeah, Warren went at 37. Again, gone are the days where Warren was going to loop back to me at the one hole at pick 48. So I felt like I could no longer rely on that, which was one of the reasons I got led to Chase Brown. Easy takes TJ Moore. So interesting there. DJ Moore, of course, playing the flop lag narrative gives him access to another quarterback in Caleb that is could be available if the Odunze drafter passes. I'd be surprised to see Manta Ray pass on Odunze, but that's excuse me, not Odunze, Caleb, but that's just my guess. We will see. Kyler goes does not go in a lot of these, and actually a cheeky Kyler MHJ stack is something I am live to just do here at pick 48. I have a lot of Bryce Young teams. I don't know if I necessarily want to make another. Nez could do it too, as I bring back to McCaffrey. It is something that I would consider heavily on a McCaffrey team. But let's see what the room is willing to hand to us before we commit to anything too crazy. I mean, we could also just take Kyle Pitts and Penix and just make a big bet on the Falcons destroying Carolina. I mean, that makes a lot of sense for us as well. Bijan, of course, is live to get some receiving work, and if the touchdowns go through the air, we could play it that way. So let's stay flexible here. Let's see what the room wants to hand to us in this position. And then if I did a Kyler MHJ play, then I could just take whoever is available last at tight end. So let's see what Manta Ray and Nez do here. That's going to be the big driver of things. So Manta Ray takes Juwan Johnson here. I'm a little torn on the Pitts Penix versus the Kyler MHJ thing. I gotta shoot straight with you guys. I'm a little of two minds in how I want to do that. Let's see what Nez does. He takes the full clock. He takes Jaden Daniels, so he plays the Q-tag game. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do Kyler McBride. I don't think, Kyler MHJ. Let's get a little different here. I think this is this to me is kind of intriguing. MHJ is a little bit infuriating with some of the some of the comments that Kyler says, like, I'd like to get everyone 10 targets. Some weeks it's going to happen, some it's not. It's going to be a little bit annoying, but we could see some kind of squeaky wheel thing. I'm not afraid of the Niners defense. It is possible that we do see like some positive touchdown regression in a guy that we were all very excited about preseason. And let's see how that goes. Nez taking Egbuka at pick 50. Very, that's a little bit surprising there, but the Daniels pick kind of surprised me. He must be, willing to play the Q-tag game there with Daniels. Obviously, if Daniels is healthy, getting him at pick 47 is a generational buy. So, a little bit unique. I don't think you're going to see a lot of Kyler MHJ over on this side of the board. I think this is more something that you're going to see over here. You're going to see, we saw last one of these drafts, we saw the McBride, Kyler MHJ triple. You're going to see that. I don't know if you're going to see a ton of that paired with this mini game stack here. So we're going to try to get a little different in this dog bowl. We're going to build a different a different set of three. We only really have 3 games that we are betting on here, and so I'm happy with how this team's coming together. Crutches does get Baker, so he built out his Baker Evans stack there. Let's see what Easy ends up doing. So Easy has missed out on Caleb and Kyler. So Mike Robb says, Kyler just uses his Call of Duty mindset. Sometimes you get the best kill death ratio. Sometimes you're the patsy and the others went off your sacrifice. Got to respect them. Yeah. Boy. Yeah. And Kyler was, Kyler had some unfortunate optics in some of his, I don't know if it was an Instagram post or Twitter post with his like wearing a Michael Vick jersey, sitting with a pit bull. It's like, brother, I know you're young, but you gotta know your history. You gotta know how that looks to the boomers like me. It was a dark time in the NFL, and we don't need to, I'm sure it was just youthful misintention. Like I don't know, but it was just a kind of a strange decision to wear that combination of jersey with Dog there. So Easy, he takes DK, so he goes Drake May, DK Metcalf. So he ends up with unstacked Drake May, takes DK Metcalf there. So again, I find it tough building these teams because they feel like 6-leg parlays, but I'm not going to criticize any of these individual picks in a vacuum. I mean, arguably I'm part of the problem having taken Caleb MHJ over there from him. So I hope he does not begrudge me. But again, I'm all the way on the left side of the board, so you can't be too mad. You always could take Kyler at pick 38 if you really wanted him with McBride. Easy probably doesn't care, to be honest. But trying to see if anyone does anything unique. Zach Ertz goes to crutches. I mean, Zach Ertz perfectly cromulent pick there. We did see Kyle Pitts go at pick 57. Again, that was my alternative idea, was Pitts Penix. The Wood takes Pitts Penix, but does not have the game stack or Bijan on that particular team. All right, let's see what we end up getting here. We need a wide receiver with our last pick. I don't think I want Jatavion Sanders in this particular team, being that we did not end up making a Bryce Young team. Dallas Goedert. I mean, maybe we just take Dallas Goedert. We can take Dallas Goedert and play the Q-tag game if we have to. Is how I would do it. I don't have any reason not to take Goddard if he's healthy. I think he could be very involved. He was very involved in the first game. Limited practice, seems like he's probably trending towards getting in there, and he's not going to be 100% owned in this at all. So let's see if we can't get Dallas Goedert. Mike C, he takes Chudkin, so he's scrolling into the depths. Let's see what Nez takes on his team, and then we will head on out of here. Mike Robb says those old school Vic jerseys are legit. First jersey I bought was even for my favorite team. Yeah, no, those old Falcons jerseys were really sick. So yeah, it was just the combination of Pet with the Vic jersey was kind of odd. All right, so Nez takes Calvin Ridley. So we'll take Dallas Goedert. We'll take Dallas Goedert, and that will be a wrap. So it is Kyler, Bijan, Chase Brown, Tet McMillan, MHJ, Dallas Goedert. So everybody, thank you so much for coming in. Thanks so much for drafting with me. I will see you all same great time, same great channel tomorrow. And take it easy, everyone. Again, have a great day.